Wimmering Manor is believed to be the oldest surviving building in the Portsmouth area, with an extensive history dating back to the 11th century. What was once a cultural hub for the community with a range of garden parties and events had become worn down and neglected, leaving the building in need of major repairs and maintenance. In 2013, this task was taken up by the Wimmering Manor Trust, who over the years has strived to give the site the attention it deserves. Throughout this time, people from a wide range of backgrounds have been involved with the manor, which in itself has established rich and varied emotional connections. Through this piece, we aim to explore these emotional connections by interviewing people who have had direct contact with the manor itself. We spoke to some people while they worked hard organising and maintaining objects within the manor.
I think it was about 5 or 6 years ago when I became interested in the local area, and I seemed to have a bit more time on my hands. My children had grown up. I thought it'd be nice to get involved with something where I could learn a bit of history and maybe get other people involved, which would be good for the community.
Is there any particular reason why you do spend your time coming here?
It gets into your blood. I first came here because I love history and it was local, and I thought it would be a nice way of making some new friends and doing something outside of work and home. But it kind of gets into your psyche, and you fall in love with the place. And everyone who works here says the same, and they're all so lovely. It's just a nice place to be. We all really look forward to coming and working here. It's really like a sort of family that you see every couple of weeks, because we're all here because we love it and we've all got a common interest. So everyone gets on really well.
So what do you think is your favourite room in this house?
Favourite room? I like to be in the kitchen because it's, like most houses, it's the hub of the family. But I also really love the music room because it's a room where we have parties, and there's it's where the suffragettes met, and in the Second World War the D-Day landings were discussed, and it's so entrenched in history. I like that as well.
Is it the history that appeals you to come here?
I was interested when I was a child, but not as much as I have been. Since I've been here 5 years, I've had the confidence to take tours around the house. So we do, basically we do heritage tours. So this house, and Jonathan has actually helped me to come out of myself and do that. So yeah, history is a big part of this house. I love history in this house.
Why do you think they're in love with the place?
I think some people, when they see the house, they feel a bit uneasy because it can have a spooky atmosphere, but I think when you volunteered here and you know the people and you know the house, it's just warm and inviting. So I think everyone just falls in love with it.
And where do you think the future is for Wimmering Manor?
Well, hopefully, with obviously funding, if we get funding, we can develop some more events. We can utilise space here when we get things sorted with different rooms and open up different rooms. We can do more of the heritage tours, and yeah, so hopefully the house won't fall down and we can keep coming here and doing things here.
We met up with some volunteers as they were working to make the garden accessible as a project for local school children.
My name's Tom. I'm a volunteer here at Wimmering Manor Trust. Living locally for all these years, it's great to be behind this and giving something back to the community, really. I think it's just a fascinating building with so much history here, and sadly a lot of people don't know it's here, so that's kind of one of our aims really, is to bring it back to life and get some more people in it. I'd love it if it was here in another 100 years, to be honest, still going strong, and yeah, it'd be great.
Right, my name is Michael Chips. I am a trustee of Wimmering Manor Trust. I've been working here now. I came as a volunteer 3 years ago, and I got elected to the board, and obviously I've been doing the work here ever since. The project here this particular project with the volunteers, is to try and bring this area here back to a gardening space, so that the children from Medina Road School can come along and do a project on gardening and learning where vegetables come from, because a lot of the children don't know that sort of thing. As you can see, it's an ongoing project, and we rely on lots of volunteers to bring our project to fruition. We do this probably a volunteers day, a couple of Saturdays a month, and in the week if we can get people to do it. But obviously a lot of people at work and can't actually volunteer. and we do rely on volunteers, you know, a total lot. And as you can see, they're busy. I don't know whether you've had a look around the house yet or not, or taken any in there, but you can see, you know, how big the project is. When it's finished, we're hoping to hand it back to the community, and us as a trustee will pass it on to somebody else, and they can carry on with the work that we hope to leave behind.
We managed to catch up with a couple of actors as they rehearsed for a piece that they would perform in the manor itself.
Well, because it's so intimate, you know, we are literally this close to the audience, and I've said it to everyone before, it's interesting for actors because basically you don't have to act, whereas we're on a stage you have to shove it out.
You mean more projecting there?
Yeah, in theatre you have to project, well, we have to project your lines, you have to project your character, whereas here you don't.
What you do with your face, like little things are picked up, whereas on a big stage it'd be missed. Yeah, and so people come and they often want to look around and see everything, don't they? But yeah, it's part of history. It's an amazing, fantastic building. And we're so privileged to be in it all the time.
Yeah.
We're very lucky.
And we didn't have to pay to come in.
We don't have to pay.
We spoke to Karen and Belinda, university lecturers who have been heavily involved with the manor.
I'm Karen Fielder, and I'm a senior lecturer in the School of Architecture. I teach specifically historic building conservation, and I've been coming to the manor since I think 2013.
And I'm Belinda Mitchell, and I'm a senior lecturer at Portsmouth University, and I teach interior design. I think I had a student in 2013 that came and used the room upstairs that's behind us as he's exploring the notions of the uncanny and kind of the ghostly experiences here.
I think we're very fortunate to have this as a resource for our students. There are so many opportunities here for different types of student projects, particularly as we're in a faculty of creative and cultural industries. It's great to get students out of the university and out into real spaces that can inspire them and make them think and challenge them. Also it does benefit the Preservation Trust that are looking after the manor as well, so it's kind of a win-win situation really.
I bring them out because it's a space that provides a number of different histories in it, and the interior students, many of them are from different cultural contexts, so from China, from Malaysia, from a kind of European context as well. And for them it's seeing inside a house that's quite local that they can keep revisiting, understand different styles and different ages of the history of English housing, and begin to understand the culture, English culture as well, in terms of thinking about its recent history and its history in the Victorian times as a kind of house party, people kind of weekend space. So it provides a lovely, I guess, a container for a number of different ideas that students might want to engage with.
So, what are your thoughts that the manor is haunted?
I think it is very much haunted, but not by the idea of ghosts that look like white sheets floating through the rooms. I think the haunting just comes from a really powerful sense of the past here and of past people who've lived here, or the traces of those past lives that are here that somehow are part of why it makes us think imaginatively about the place. So that's the kind of haunted quality that it has for me. It's less about the ghastly tales of headless knights or singing nuns, and more about just that overwhelming sense of the past here.
We reflected on our own thoughts. Through exploring and understanding the emotional connection that others have with the manor, we ourselves have established a connection.
The most incredible part of this building is the amount of different people that have actually lived here, because you've got people that lived here part of the hostel, you've got when you go further into into the past, the individuals who have this as their home, I think you can really tell that in different aspects of the building. I think it's just a great place to try and get more visitors in and to just show the local people the history of the area. I don't think personally I would actually live here, but I think I would definitely visit and tell people how great it is.
I think there's a whole bunch of reasons why people come in the local communities just to help out here. Whether it's just something to do, something that brings people together, but then on top of that there is this big historical building that for a lot of people in the area tie back to so much of their heritage, and even if it doesn't, just the history of the UK in general, it's really interesting. I think something else that brings people in is the ghost houses, the ghost hunts, people coming in and looking for spooky phenomena.
Actually, I don't really feel like home to be inside here, because many people said there is ghosts, and I'm really afraid of ghosts. So I only can come here during the day, and if you let me come here in the night, maybe I will be very afraid.
So at the beginning, to me, it was kind of just a little bit of a house. I like the staircase, like I said, but it didn't have overly that much of an impact on me personally. But now that I've spent time in it, I know a little bit more about the history, and you spend time in the rooms interviewing people and what other people feel. It does have an impact on how you then view these different areas and rooms like this cool basement, which I've never seen before, which is pretty fun.
It is clear from our time spent at Wimmering Manor that the site is both historically and culturally significant, and through the passion of those involved will only become more so as time goes on.